What's up, guys? Nate, the old school Otaku here, and I want to take a minute and talk about something that's actually relatively important when it comes to this whole server project. What do I want to talk about? I want to talk about hard drives. Stay tuned. And welcome back. So this one is actually going to be relatively short as far as the server updates go, mainly because I just wanted to talk about one specific thing dealing with hard drives and whatnot. And like I had talked about in some of my previous videos, I bought two of these Seagate EXOS drives, or Exos drives. They're the Seagate's Enterprise Edition hard drives. And part of the reason for getting these is, for one, to get drives that actually could handle the tolerances of, well, could tolerate the massive workload that, unfortunately, two parity drives within an unraid system would be put under, which is relatively constant writes and potentially a lot of reads there, but mainly for writes is one of the things. And then just the whole act of being involved within a giant cluster with a lot of drives together, so that it actually had the the ability to withstand all of the vibrations from all the other drives running, which is especially important while writing, because whenever the cache drive is written to, so is the regular drives, because you'd write a file to the regular drive and then it updates that bit on the cache drive at the same time. It does add in some slowness to the total ingesting of data onto the hard drives, and that's one of the main reasons why you utilize a cache drive, so that all files that you're loading onto the server for the very first time go to the cache, and then later on this application called the mover within Unraid moves those over to the actual hard drives, and that runs in the evening or early morning. I don't remember exactly when I have it scheduled, but it's during a time where I'm not usually up and about, so it doesn't really matter. Well, these drives that I purchased, there's an issue when you're dealing with Amazon and sometimes other sellers with these types of drives. And there are technically two different types of drives that you can get. And there's no real difference in the drive. Like, this drive here is a normal drive. There's nothing special about this drive versus the other type. And the type really just means who sold it to you, what, and that coincides with the warranty. And that's the other thing that I wanted out of this, is I wanted the full Seagate 5-year warranty on these drives. That way, if something were to go wrong, I can go talk to Seagate and get a brand new drive shipped out to me. One of the issues with dealing with Amazon sometimes is getting drives that are sold by other sellers. And these other sellers may be doing what's called reselling of drives. And what they're doing is they're reselling what are called OEM drives. And what OEM drives are is they are drives that are shipped out from the manufacturer in bulk to a third party. Typically, these parties are called OEMs, and what that usually means is they are system builders. So they'll ship out to, like, Dell. So Dell doesn't buy full-fat retail drives, because that's the other type. There's retail and OEM. So Dell doesn't buy retail drives. They buy what's called OEM drives, which are just drives that are designated based off of their serial number, and that's it. That's all it is in their serial number. They denote that this is an OEM drive sent to a third party, And the way support works is that you actually get support through the third party, essentially your purchaser, who you purchase the drive from. So if I purchase an OEM drive, I can't go to Seagate to get their warranty. I'm stuck with the warranty from the seller. And it just so happens that these two drives that I purchased came from a seller that is a reseller and is actually an OEM. And so I had my suspicions when I opened the box up in order to pull the drives out, because the drive came in a box like this. And typically OEM drives come in this simple box rather than a full-fat retail box. And so looking in, there's not a whole lot in it. It is packaged well. I mean, this type of packaging does do a really good job of holding the drives, but and cushioning them and whatnot. But the problem is the drive is then an OEM drive, and I have to go with the company that I purchased it from in order to get support. And while Amazon isn't necessarily going to accept the returns or whatnot 5 years later down the road if these drives were to fail, and the seller that technically sold it through Amazon to me may not even be there in 5 years. That seller may not exist. And now, granted, if you're going with Seagate and you're going direct with Seagate, you are relying on, that manufacturer to still exist in 5 years. And I would hope Seagate's a relatively well-known brand that they would be able to, they would still be around in 5 years in order to support. I mean, Seagate's been around for quite a long time, just like Western Digital and a few of these others. So I'm not as worried about that, but I am worried about the third-party seller from Amazon doing that. And when I bought these drives, I thought I was buying the drive direct from Amazon, and it's had everything. It said it was full retail. It didn't say anything about OEM in the listing on Amazon. It listed the full 5-year warranty from Seagate, all of the correct things that it's supposed to list. But in the end, when I got it, it was an OEM drive. And then I double-checked and verified that that was the case. And that's the other thing that I wanted to kind of talk about, is what you can do to verify when you do get a drive or something like this. So what I did is I went to Seagate's website. And Western Digital also has the ability to do this too. And so you go to Seagate's website, and I'm going to hopefully flip to a screen capture of this process. So you go to Seagate's website, go to the support section, and when in support, there's the ability to look up warranty. And you will get a chance to look up the warranty of your device, check the warranty status of your drive, and that'll tell you how long your warranty is left. How much of the 5 years is still left with the warranty. And so what it does is it asks for a serial number. And then the serial number is printed on the drive in one of the labels. So there's on this drive, it's usually listed as SN, and then there's the serial number. And there's a few other markings on here as well, but the main thing you want to know is the serial number. So you enter that in exactly into the field, and then it kicks back information about the warranty of your device. And this could be for any other type of equipment. If you purchased a PC, there's usually some type of serial number or identification number of that PC. Go back to the manufacturer, enter in that, and that'll tell you the warranty information. Does this for Dell. It's something that I've dealt with a lot in the IT field with my job, especially with hard drives. It's very, when you're dealing with warranty support, you know what the serial number is on the drive, and you say, okay, this is the serial number of the drive that's bad. I need a replacement. This is the type of drive we're looking for. They're like, okay, go and get that. And there's actually sellers that will sell third-party warranties and extended warranties of devices in the enterprise space and whatnot. But I bought these drives expecting to get that initial 5-year warranty. I didn't really want to purchase an extended warranty on this device, on these drives. I wanted what I wanted. So after verifying on the Seagate website that the warranty was not there, not good, I went back to Amazon, requested a refund, and I'm going through that process. Unfortunately, the drives are still here. I just checked this tonight, which is why I wanted to do this before I ship the drives back. That way I get my money back, and then I can go in and buy the actual drives. Now, the specific drive type I have, Amazon does sell it, but you have to kind of dig in because there's a lot of other sellers that sell these products for cheaper. And in the process of selling it for cheaper, it drops the Amazon listing down, so that you actually have to go into the other buying options, look through, and find the one that's sold by and shipped and fulfilled by Amazon. These drives were sold by a company called Saber PC, which I have gone and looked through the reviews and found out that Saber PC does have a tendency to ship OEM drives, and I thought I was buying the one that was being sold and whatnot by Amazon, but it turns out it was only fulfilled by Amazon, not actually sold by Amazon, and that's partially me to blame for not getting the exact drive and verifying that part, but also partially the seller's blame for not putting a proper listing on their listing, not listing their drive as an OEM drive. And that's a major thing. When you're buying these enterprise drives, you're looking for that enterprise support. You don't want non-enterprise support. It just doesn't it doesn't work. It's not what we're looking for. So yeah, that's one of the main things. That's essentially what I wanted to talk about tonight. So I wanted to go over that information with you, tell you a little bit about what you can do to look at these drives and find out that information. And you can also tell specifically what's going on with the drive fairly simply by looking at the type of packaging. OEM drives almost always come in this standard cheap case rather than in a full fat box like this drive did. So there is that. Unfortunately, I don't have enough time to go any further, any deeper into details, or to get into opening this up. That's for another time, I believe, as I'm going through this process of updating the server. There's some more parts and things I need to pick up in order to get the system up and running and whatnot. But I wanted to talk about this, and we'll see what happens next in the saga of building this server. This one part here is definitely slowing down the process of getting everything up and running because I need these new drives. So now I have to go through the process of shipping it back. Typically, refunds with Amazon are relatively quickly, especially now that they offer returns through Kohl's. So you go to Kohl's, drop off the drives, and as soon as I do, they initiate the refund, goes onto my Amazon account, verify that it's there, and then I can go ahead and pull the trigger and purchase. And then hopefully in a couple of days, the drives will show up, and I'll be able to actually continue working on the drive portion of this, of this whole entire build. So yeah, it's a process, and thank you guys for tuning in and following along with this process, and hopefully I gave you some interesting and helpful information. Now, I complain about OEM drives, but I purchase OEM drives a lot. Actually, most of the drives that I purchase wind up being OEM drives because you wind up saving a good portion. You could save up to $100 buying an OEM drive versus a non-OEM drive a lot of times. And you take that risk when you do buy OEM, that you have to work with the seller of the drive. You have to work with the OEM company itself in order to get support on that. And when I buy those drives, I expect that, and I take that risk where I may not be able to get a replacement and whatnot. But for these specific drives and the purpose that they are in, I want to make sure I get the proper retail version. So hopefully I have picked the right version from Amazon, sold by Amazon, and we'll be able to get the proper ones. I'm looking at the reviews. It seems like the ones that are sold by Amazon are actual full fat retail packaging, and they're actually only about $20 per drive more expensive than the version that I wound up originally buying. So I'm out a few extra bucks, but hopefully I get exactly what I'm looking for, and that's what I'm hoping from this. And yeah. Thanks for tuning in. If you liked what you've seen and want to see more, I encourage you to go check out the rest of my channel. I've got tons of videos, though the majority of the content that I do talk about are related to some of the stuff you can see behind me, you know, the anime and stuff. Not necessarily all computer parts, but I am taking everyone through this this server build project right now. And if you want to see more of that, I encourage you to hit subscribe. Approach your front row and center whenever I release something new, because it will show up in your feed, your subscriber feed, or hit the bell icon as well if you want to be notified when I release something new. If you have any questions, any comments, anything about what I discussed today, go ahead and hit me up in the comment section below. I do read every comment and attempt to respond as I am able. And if there is something I can say to respond to the comment, you know, like, subscribe. If you want to follow me on Twitter, Tumblr, Facebook, I do post photos of the process and whatnot, you know, some teaser photos and things to the social media, so follow me there if you want to get some updated information more regularly than what comes out as far as the release schedule of these videos, and you know, share all of that type of stuff. Thank you guys for tuning in, and I hope to see you all next time. I am Nate, the old school otaku, signing off. This video didn't quite go as planned. What else is new? Nothing ever goes as planned. Nothing ever goes as planned. As planned is not the way it goes. Kind of like these drives. These were supposed to be full new drives, and this definitely looks like this is not what I was expecting. These look like OEM drives.